Okay, and your name?
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Doug Winters.
Okay, Doug. And actually, so that people know that I ran into you because we were trying to help each other out. And you had a fascinating story about how you were looking for business at home kind of deals, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because being over the age of 22...
That was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my business not being what it was...
what were you doing before?
Full-time musician.
No kidding.
Started out as a classical musician, realized I wasn't going to be Leonard Bernstein or Arthur Rubinstein. I became a school teacher, which I enjoyed. But then I had a couple of really cool opportunities. I got to be the musical director of the Playboy Club in New York, which was very cool. I was writing jingles for television and and I started my own company. I was the protege of this jazz pianist and arranger named Bob James in the early 80s, and sort of had my roadmap laid out for myself. And at the exact same time that I became like a really good orchestrator, like I could read, like he taught me, and so that the two of us could literally read entire scores of Stravinsky or Mozart or Chopin, came synthesizers, and the synthesizers took over everything. So there was no need for arrangers with strings and brass sections and as a matter of fact, they don't even use real horns anymore. Everything's synthesized.
It's all synthesized, you mean?
Yeah, so it's sort of like I became like a printer, at the same time as everybody could go to CompUSA and buy a printer for $69. So I sort of like missed my opportunity, which is kind of the story of my life. I get these great opportunities, and then by the time it's time to cash them in, I just sort of missed the boat. I was doing quite well. Then I started my own music company where we played for weddings and corporate parties. And then the corporate parties dropped out completely when people, about 5-6 years ago, when everybody started firing lawyers and people who thought they were untouchable. And without getting into the whole political thing, I just read that all the people that just got bailed out, like AIG and all these things, printed like $16 billion assets for one quarter. So it's like forgetting about that. So little by little, without going into incredible detail, the market for a high-priced item. Well, picture me in a Giorgio Armani tux, but
tuxedo normally.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I normally wear on Saturday nights, to play at weddings, and that was running incredibly well. And the bottom dropped out of that market where people couldn't spend $10,000 on a band and would rather spend $2,000 on a DJ. So I looked to the internet to see if how I could get either a grant from someone like yourself, or somehow I could pad my income online. And what I didn't realize was that I was opening a Pandoras Box. So what happens is, this is a cautionary tale for anybody who thinks that they're going to be making extra money online by answering one of these ads that say, would you like to earn extra money online?
Right.
Because it's like a whole another world. Like if I asked you if you ever heard of ClickBank or niche marketing or building a list or backlinks and. Oh, at least 15.
Really?
At least 15. And what they do is there's something called an opt-in.
Right.
Okay? And what that means is that all you're doing is put your name in. I'll put in, Matthew, and then Matthew Lesko at gmail.com. Let's just say,
Right.
And then you're opened up to this presentation.
Right.
Someone, gives you a presentation about how you're going to become a millionaire overnight. And, but by opting in, you're not doing anything bad. All you're doing is you're putting yourself onto someone else's list, which means that these internet marketers share the lists with each other. So in other words, they buy lists from each other. Right, exactly. Now that by itself is no big deal. All you have to do is just don't open their emails.
Right.
But what they do is someone else buys the list. So some other name that you don't recognize, so you open it up and there's the exact same thing. And to tell you the truth, I found it really fascinating. How they would try and get you. Like, one guy actually had, no joke, he had a stripper from a Vegas strip place, that was like a hooker, and doing lap dances and all that kind of stuff. And she was obviously reading from a script, because she was mispronouncing names and stuff like that. And it was just hysterical. It was like, and I just watched it throughout the whole thing, because this is a video on the web. So someone seriously paid money, it was like a 3-camera shoot. I mean, so someone paid money to do this. And realizing that, who doesn't want to watch, a girl in a really short skirt?
Right. And she's selling this business opportunity?
She's selling this product, right. And it's just unbelievable. And one thing I noticed is that, so what they're called is affiliates.
Yes.
Or super affiliates. And what you're supposed to do, the whole concept behind this entire industry. Now, mind you, if you ask your friends, or if I ask my friends, just normal people, right?
All right.
College educated, not college educated, it's like, have you ever heard of internet marketing? They'll say, no.
All right.
I don't know what you're talking about. So basically, the whole thing is a scam where they want you to become one of the scammers with them to scam the next person. And so my favorite thing is this. They'll start out each with a different presentation. One very cool presentation, aside from the hooker one, which just cracked me up, is that there's one with a television screen. I think it's for something called Commission Crusher. And it starts out with this guy that says, I don't know how you found this page, but if you're lucky enough to have found a page, I don't even want you here. So it's sort of like he made you feel like if you were there, you were damn lucky to be there. And then so what happens is, all right. So you say, okay, let me play this out. Let's see what this guy has to say, right? So you and it says, okay, for $49 you can become a millionaire.
Okay. That sounds reasonable.
Right. So you hit the $49. So you say, nah, I don't want to do it, and you try and get out. Right. You press no. Thank you. It somehow figures out a way to say, wait a minute, we're going to give you $10 off. So now it'll only be $39.
I see. Hey. Yeah.
Go to get off. It'll go to $29. And so you say, all right, for $29, I'll give it a whirl, right? So you buy it, you go to something called PayPal.
Right.
Which is not, which people have heard of, you
right.
You pay your Con Ed bill on that if you want. I mean, it's legitimate. And they start with what they call upsells. Okay? And they'll say, okay, so you bought into the situation, you bought into our system. They call it a system. And they say, but to really make it work, you should really go to our, our higher level. They'll use different words like the elite program.
Right, exactly. You're a special guy.
Exactly, but it's another $179.
Ah, surprise.
Right, and then for private mentoring, which means that some lame guy in your office calls you 3 times and gives you a quote-unquote coaching session. That could be another $200. So now you're into this guy for $429, and you still haven't done a thing.
Did you ever try one of these packages? I mean, get it in the mail or buy the money, and what did it look like when you got these things?
Nothing. Oh, well, mostly they were things, actually 2 of the 3 things, because I work on a Mac. Okay. Right. And so a couple of things I couldn't even open because they were only made for Windows, right?
So they weren't even smart enough to warn you ahead of time that may not work on a Windows. I mean, on a Mac.
Right. And they never tell you. Yeah, they don't tell you anything. I've actually tried calling. Let me see if I can center myself somehow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little better. I mean, I've actually tried getting in touch with some of these guys to say, listen, why don't you just say, tell us what the upsell is. Tell us everything that we need to know. Because what you have to do is you have to buy a website.
Oh, you have to buy a website, I see.
Yeah, so you have to have a website, and you have to have a domain name for the website, and you have to buy domain hosting. Hosting for the website. So if you go back to that other example I was giving you before, where it's up to $420, now I buy a website, a domain name, $10, $15, and then hosting could be $100 a year or $200 for 2 years, and they push you to do $200 for 2 years. So now we're up to like $600. And they say they're going to give you a free website, and the free website is the cheesiest freaking thing you've ever seen in your life. And it's just like one guy is worse than the other. I mean, there's a guy named Steve Iser. There was a guy by the name of Adam Horowitz, in California, who actually came out with this, what appeared to be a great idea. He showed he was shooting it live, so you knew he spent some money, right? So he was shooting it live in L.A., and you could see the Hollywood Bowl on one side, and then on the other side you could see the Hollywood sign. Now I haven't been to L.A. in a while, so I don't even know if there's a spot where you can see both, but yeah.
He was on a set with blue screens or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Green screen, something was going to blow up. So he says, wouldn't it be great? And they catch your attention because this guy said, wouldn't it be amazing if you could text all those people sitting in the Hollywood Bowl? Now, clearly, they all have something in common. They all like going to concerts, right? So if you could figure out, and then he pans if you could get all the 10,000 people in the Hollywood Bowl or 50,000, whatever itself, right? And be able to text them. Now, he doesn't tell you how to get their email, their cell phone number.
Do you feel that there's any value in what they're selling at all?
No, absolutely not. It's 100% scam. And as a matter of fact, if you want to record this, I would put this out as a challenge. That if any of these guys, this Mike Dillard, this Steve Iser, this Jamie Lewis, this George Brown in the UK, if anybody can make me a website, make me $1 million, I'll split it with you.
Oh, there's a good offer.
You take a third, I'll take a third, and we'll give him a third.
How about getting your money back when you would try to get the back from these people?
Well, they say you get it back, but I have yet to see it back in my bank account.
Oh, really? And how many you're waiting for back now?
Including the upsells, at least a half a dozen.
Really? Wow.
They say that they've sent it back, but it's at least like $500 worth that they haven't, put. Yeah.
So there's about a half a dozen products that you order like this that you return and you're waiting to get back. Yeah.
Right. So my suggestion to any of your viewers would be, don't even start with this thing. And anytime you see a bunch of letters on an email, like on the bottom of the email, and it says like AWeber, blah 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 blah, a couple of question marks, a couple of exclamation point, whatever it is, or Get Response. Those are the two companies mostly that gather up your list. Don't respond to it. Just they tell you, you can hit unsubscribe, and they can't write back to you. Google doesn't let them, whoever.
Well, that's, especially in this economy, like you got, sucked in this economy, it's hard. You can understand the hucksters out there, are promising a lot of hope, and we're looking for hope, and I guess that's how we get sucked into these things.
Well, that's the problem, and the economy just literally does not seem like it's getting any better. Yeah. And it gets harder and harder to find work, and it gets harder and harder to find a way to supplement your income. So you're kind of you're tempted to be suckered in by these guys, and they make it really entertaining, and they
well, I can't understand why they do that.
Right. There's a couple that basically say, if you're not, they basically challenge your manhood. Oh, that's another thing. Every single person on this thing is a white Caucasian.
Oh, that's interesting.
20-something-year-old. Wow. Every single one. Now, if someone wanted to be smart marketer, first of all, there's no females except for that one hooker. If someone wanted to be smart, they would hire a female actress, right, to do that, or some woman should do it, or some black guy, right, or some middle-aged guy, like you or me. But it's totally a scam where these guys are proud to say they're high school dropouts, and why bother going to college? It's all about money, and maybe listen, as a child of Vietnam War protesters, we were taught to think that money was the root of all evil, But
well, I sort of see it. We have a culture, sort of like diet books, and even, unfortunately, I fall in that genre sometimes too. People put me in there that, I'm promising something or whatever. That's why, to me, I just want bare minimum price, and try to educate people. But it is, everything requires work, and the selling part is trying to make you believe that it's so easy, like a diet. Just think of how much we spend on diet books, and we're all still fat.
That's one of the things. I see both of us are actually thin, but they tell you, what these things basically are ways to sucker other people to buy things like weight loss products. There's a whole company out there called ClickBank. Okay?
Oh, I see. So you're starting a business selling other people's stuff.
Exactly. Selling other people's products. I think they call it OPP. Or
other people's products or something.
And then there's certain words, and the basic thing is to get ranked on Google. So they want you to be highest ranked on Google. So what they do is they have Google keywords, and then they have all kinds of things they call pay-per-click and pay-per-view, which means that anytime someone clicks on it, you get paid, but you have to pay for it every time they get clicked. So if someone clicks on your site and doesn't find it, then you've lost money.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to have to spend more money. That's why, to me, I think for $100 you could start any one of those businesses today yourself, but find a product that you believe in and is real.
Yeah. Right. If you were a 22-year-old high school dropout that did nothing but this, and then they swear that there are some really actually funny ones. Like there's one that guy says, "I was a hacker." You know, they're proud of themselves as being hackers. Last time I thought, hackers, it was illegal to hack into other people's computers. Right? But they were really proud of this. So, but even as a, code hacker, they use all these words. I didn't know anything until I found the Brotherhood.
I see.
And you could break the law too.
Exactly. You can, but this has to be a secret between you, me, and the Brotherhood. Now, mind you, you're on this list of like 500,000 other people that are getting this exact same thing, but they make it feel like it's just you and them. And then the bottom line is, even once you buy it, you can't get in touch with them. Like I've actually never heard from the main guys. So the whole thing is an unbelievable, astronomical scam. That it's got to remind it just reminds me of that stuff. This could only probably happen. Something similar to this happened, I'm sure, during the Depression, or even in the 1800s. Go west, young man, to find gold. So you get these people who help families out, with a pick, to try to find gold.
That's why you sell jeans instead of look for gold. Yeah. Well, I think particularly if you don't get your money, I'll get you a list of who to file with in every state these people are in, because that to me, you're not going to hire a lawyer to chase them because it's going to cost you more to do that. But to me, it's like getting paper into the system about them doing it, so other people, when they check, could see that these guys don't, do what they say or promise you a refund and don't do it. And that's why I always file with the Attorney General and things like that, to make sure there's paper on these people. But I hope, Doug, that this will help folks and help them think twice about doing anything.